Hey, so we are back. I mentioned for part three, if this is part three, I don't know how I'm going to chop up the videos, but let's assume that it is for now, that we're going to start working on the login. But there is a part that we forgot to do for the registration page, which is to be able to display the existing users that are registered. So we're going to set up the interface for that now. We're going to wrap this in a div and also wrap this in a section in our form. And let's see, what else are we going to do? We're going to then create a separate section, and we're going to have a header. This header is going to, well, not login, but we'll take it for now. Registered users. And we're going to also have a form. This form is going to be to delete all the users. So we're just going to have a submit button. Let's just use our submit button. And it's not going to be a default submit button since we want to specify that this is to delete. Whoops, not some misspelling of delta or delete, but delete all users. We want to say that this method, it's a post method, and the action itself, which we're about to create. Let's see, we'll create this on top since it's going to be a pretty short action. So it's going to be delete all users. So we should misspell this again. Let's just delete. And for now, we're just going to return delete all users, right? And we're going to give a comma right here. So that is that, and we want to use our route for, we got to restart the server actually since things crashed. pn dev, so that route could get generated. Come back here. We have the delete users form action, and that is about it so far. We just want to improve the styling a bit, so let's just kind of go here. Let's first load things up on mobile. Let's see, do that with this, and we want to give this some spacing. So class, let's see, let's just give it mobile first of like 4. Let's just make it 6 just in case, right? So that gives us some space in between that. We could probably do like, maybe like a HR as well. That works. And we'll set this to only display none, I think. What is the display none? Hidden. Yes, it's just called hidden in TypeScript. So we want this to display on mobile, but once it gets to the minimum height of 640, we want to display none. So that just kind of makes things a bit more clear. Let's try to address this. So class, we want this to be a flex, and gap maybe 4, and justify between, right? See how that goes. That works. In smaller screens they get a bit pushy, but that is fine. We could probably do a flex wrap, and that'll make things a bit better. And there we go. Yeah. And now we want to correct things on the bigger screen. We want it to be side by side. So we're going to do on small, we want to do flex. Actually, let's just do grid. And sm grid call to justify between, which is or small. Thank you so much. And we want to, let's see how that looks first. Awesome. And we just want to specify the gap. So let's do a gap of like, I don't know, 7. Oh, it's a bit better. We might have to increase it, but that's decent. Yeah, let's increase it a bit. Let's go with 10. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And now that we got the UI in place for this, we want to get a list of the users, but first we actually got to get those users. So we're going to create a new function, new database utils called get all users. And let's see, want to run a query, and then we want to select. And then we only want to display the name, but we might need the email for something. So we're going to get the name and email. We don't need the ID right now, so we're just going to omit that from what's being returned here. And that's about it. So that's that. And we're just going to return this array of users. And that's it. So yeah, it's good to only to return the information that you need from the database. In this case, the main purpose for this function right now is to return all the users that we're going to display. So we don't need like, we don't need to get the user's password, for example. I don't think it even allows me. Oh yeah, it does allow me to do that, but we don't need that information, which I don't think we ever should, display that publicly. So yeah, we omit the things that you don't need, and if you do need them for whatever reason, that's when you could include it. So now that we got that, we go back to our register page.server, and we are going to load another thing here, which is, let's see, all users. It goes await get all users. Normally it is good to this is going to cascade a bit, I believe. So normally you want to use a promise that all to wait for when everything is resolved, to then display, to then return the stuff that you want to load in. But in this case, it's just something small. So I am going to skip that for now. But yeah, just for you to have in mind, if you're not already aware, it's good to practice to do a promise that all return. In SvelteKit, especially for the SvelteKit 2, they have documentation for this for reference. And yeah, so now that we have that information, we could then create an if condition that data dot all users. And then we want to do a UL, and then each block data dot all users as user, and we want to, let's just remove this, li, oops, so user dot name, sure, we'll do the name and email. We shall do the name and email since we have that information, and let's just do some styling. Let's actually see how this looks. So that's how we have it right now. And we're going to do some styling. So we're going to do space Y. Let's do 3. List disk and list inside. See how that looks. Awesome. We might want to, let's see. We might want to make some styling for this. So we're going to do like a BG BG accent. So let's just remove the disk then and see how that looks like. Yeah, that kind of works. Give it some padding 2, or see how padding 1 looks like first, and then round it. Oops. Oh no. No. Okay, there we go. All right. I just want to, let's give it a bit of some margin top. And there we go. That looks decent. That looks decent. So these are our users. And let's just make a bit more spacing. So now we have our displayed users. So, well, 13 minutes or so. Let's actually get to the login now. Okay, so we're going to create the route for the login. Don't mind the pan. Now that we have that in place, we'll just build out the UI real quick. I'm just going to borrow some stuff from here to speed this up. So we have this, and we also have this as well. So get all that plugged in and make those imports. Super forms. We're going to create a user login schema.cs. So this one, we're just going to use a basic Zod object for it. Const user login schema equals z. Do I have? Nope, we do not. So let's import that from Zod z, and that object. Awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, right. We forgot. We could I forgot to do one thing for the registration. We don't really need a max. Let's see. Did we specify max? No, we don't really need a max. You can add it if you want. Actually, let's specify a max value. So we'll do one for the name. Let's see. Export. Whoops. Export const max name length 50 characters. And then we'll do max. And there we go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Autocomplete. And with that, we're just going to quickly go back to a registration page. And for the name itself, we're going to say max length equals and the max name length. So now if we go back to our variable, if we go back to our register form, we have this like a max character indicator now. If we start typing and such, and it stops us at 50. So that is really nice. There is, we're using just the base max length HTML attribute to prevent typing beyond the specified characters. And also if the user were to bypass the client-side validation, then there would be an error in the server if they were to include any characters beyond 50. So that is that. We don't need it for the other stuff, but just something you could do. So we're back to this. We don't need, well, yes, we're gonna have to create a link. Let's just kind of create it now, and then we'll close this out. So login, create link, and there we go. Thank you very much. And that's about it that we need for the validation, the user schema validation, Zod schema validation. Let's rename this to be a bit more clear again. So this is for Zod schema because we have just like a different type of schemas and whatnot. So we just want to make sure that things are a bit more clear. So that's that. And we're going to, let's see, user login Zav schema. And on the, we're going to return log user login form data, which is going to be await super validate, and then this one takes the user login sub schema, and that is that. We correct this, we import toast, and boom. We also import route and import this. We want to correct this after we create the actual, do we have a, I think we just have a default action for login. So we don't really need to specify an action since it's going to be default. And we do not need the name. Awesome. And this is going to be login. Sweet. And that takes care of the UI for our login page. Again, this thing crashed. So let's reload it. So yeah, now we got the login page. That's awesome. We have the validation. And now let's complete the login logic on the server. Let's see. We got everything in place. So yeah, let's get that started up. We want to, let's see if I quickly get the action syntax from here. It's going to cause another crash. But that is fine. And this is going to be a default form action. We're going to, let's see, let's just copy this name real quick. Const boom equals await super validate. Similar stuff as for the registration form. And we just get the alert message, which we could import and request. Awesome. Thank you so much, Copilot. And we're going to, once again, thank you. And we just got to specify request on the rounds and then import this in. Awesome. So that's nice. So now to log in properly, after if the validation is correct, we need to check if the email exists in our database and also if the password is correct. So to do that, we're going to have to make a database query. This one we'll just do here. What do you call that? This query again returns an array of users. So we're just going to deconstruct that array to be able to grab that database. Actually, oh, what am I doing? That's why. Database dot select, and we wanted to get two things returned from here. So we want the ID because we're going to use that to create a cookie session. Table.id, and we also want the password. Oops. User table.password. We don't need the email because we're going to use that equivalence check here to see if it actually even exists. So we're just going to say EQ where, how do I do that? Awesome. So yeah, this is doing a database query where we want to select the ID and password from the user's object, and we only want to return the object, the row that has the email that the user has inputted. So first we'll check if user equals undefined, meaning that we could not find a user with that email. We're just going to return a error message, set error. Whoops. And awesome. Email is not registered. Wonderful. And now we're going to check the password. Awesome. That seems to be, let me just double check, user password. That is the user from the database. And we're comparing that. If it does not equal to what the user inputted, then we're going to send out an error of incorrect password. So that's that. And finally, if everything is successful, we're going to create a cookie session. Okay, there we go. Cookies. Oh, we actually have to get that from here. Cookies.set. And let's see, we want to create a, because we're going to reference the cookie object, sorry, the cookie set function, and there's a get function to get the cookie. We want to set the name of the cookie and then the value of the cookie. So I want to create a constant variable for the cookie name. We're just going to kind of create it in utils constants. I can't spell. Let's see. Constants. Okay, there we go. .cs. We're just going to say export. Whoops, why do I do that? Export const session cookie name equals session ID. I already have a session ID, I believe, from our demo demonstration. So let's just go into our cookies and see if that's there. We don't seem to have it. Awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's because it was using a different route. It was using F174 rather than 73. So that's wonderful. We don't need to worry about that. And now we could reuse that name for our cookie session, cookie name. And then the second variable it's going to take is the value of that cookie. In this case, it's just going to be the user's ID. And we're going to create some options. Let's see. So the only I think it seems to be required. Path seems to be required, or it's going to error out. So we set a path, and the path is where that cookie is accessible in your website. So we just make it the base of the website, so it could be accessible everywhere. If we only wanted it to be accessible in our register or login page, then we would just do /off, and it would only be accessed then. But we just wanna use that everywhere for the time being. And once the cookie is set, we're going to throw a redirect, a 303 redirect to, let's see, to the dashboard, which is going to just be route. We don't have the dashboard in place yet, so we're just going to leave that blank for now, and we're going to create the route for the dashboard, and we're going to get that. And again, I think our server crashed, so let's just reload it up again. No, don't do that. And now we have dashboard. There we go. Awesome. So we have that. Oh, I forgot we. Oh man, I'm so sorry. Well, I forgot to set the delete action on the register page, but we'll go back to that. So right now, if we try to log in with our users, let's see what happens. It's going to create a cookie and also redirect us. I think the password was just 22. So yeah, it creates this cookie. with the name that we specified. This is the ID of the user, and this is, what do you call it, the domain, and some other, the path, and some other information. So yeah, we're now redirected to the dashboard, but as I said, I forgot to do this. So let's go to set that up now. It's pretty quick. So let's do that. We could close this out. We could close this out, and we just need, yeah, we had set up the action for it, but we didn't set up the logic. So let's go to database utils and export const delete all users. And we're just going to return await database. Oh no, you had it. Well, I'm doing that myself. Just don't need to run this execute function. It's not really even available, but this is all that we need to delete all the users from the database. So with that in place, yeah, let's delete all users. Well, let's actually bring this function into our action. Delete. All right, delete all users. Boom. I should probably send a notification message, but that's fine for now. Awesome, and all users have been deleted. That's about it. So yeah, that's that. We have the delete function for this, and we want to get back to the login user page. So yeah, now we are able to successfully log in our users. They get redirected to the dashboard, and I believe that might be it.